Dude, we have got a historical weaponry myth that is actually older than you. Okay, check it out. It turns out that the torpedo might have been invented in Syria in the 13th century.
Really?
Well, okay, so today we think of a torpedo that's something that launches from underwater and reaches its target underwater. This, in fact, was a rocket-powered device that skimmed across the top of the water, delivering an incendiary to its target.
Did it work?
We have no actual record of them actually using it. We have modern speculations as to its shape and its function. Our job is to figure out just how viable a weapon of war it might have been.
While modern speculation abounds, the historical record is a little sketchy. Supposedly, this torpedo would travel over the water and explode on impact. But did it actually work? The MythBusters are going to find out.
So I have scoured every historical reference I can, and while there's not a ton of information, I think I know where we should start.
Go on.
All the accounts generally agree on the overall shape of this torpedo, that it is pear-shaped, with a narrow end and a fat end, and it had two fins extending from the rear, and that it's powered by a black powder rocket of about 20 pounds of black powder. The question is, what does the underside look like? How it met the water? Nobody has a speculation about that. That's kind of up to us.
Well, why don't we go down in the shop and each take a stab at it and see what we get?
Exactly what I was thinking.
If you're thinking torpedoes, you're probably thinking about World War II versions that move along just under the surface of the water, where this one was specified to skip along top of the water like a small motorboat. So if you're thinking about motorboats, on the one hand, you could pick a deep V sort of a hull, which has the advantage of tracking straight and being able to handle choppy water. But on the other hand, it actually requires a lot of power to do that. You could pick a flat bottom sort of a hull, which moves along very quickly on the surface of the water, but if it goes too fast, it can get air under it and actually flip and lose control, which would be a bad thing.
Right. There are two possible hull choices, the deep V or the flat bottom. So to test which style works best, the guys begin by designing two torpedo prototypes out of pliable copper. And that means it's hammer time.
My tools of production, I'm using every sheet metal production tool I have ever purchased, from synthetic hammers, planishing hammers, motorized planishing hammers, anvils, beater bags, everything.
And I've got a cannonball.
Jamie is forging a flatter bottom torpedo, while Adam is hammering out the deep V. Two different hulls and two different prototypes are soon ready to take to the water in a head-to-head accuracy launch.
We'll see what happens. Well, that thing's looking pretty snappy.
I'm pretty psyched about it. Can't wait to try it. How's yours?
Well, it's not quite as pretty as yours is, but it ought to work.
Let's get them out there and try them.
Yeah.
All right.
And for that, the MythBusters have found the ideal location.
A lovely day to fire torpedoes.
Let's get to it.
I'm standing at one of our favorite MythBusters locations on the island of Treasure Island in the middle of San Francisco Bay at a fire training facility. Now, we've filmed exploding stun gun and dumpster diving out here, but we have never used this pool behind me. We're going to use it today for testing some ancient torpedoes.
And they'll be aiming those torpedoes at a target 100 feet away. But to get them there, first, they'll need some thrust.
Our rocket power today will be supplied by this, which provides 5.9 pounds of thrust for 2.8 seconds. Will that translate to my torpedo making it from one end of our 100-foot pool to the target? Honestly, I don't think so, but that's okay, because this is a relative test. We're just trying to figure out the best hull shape at this point.
And first to launch is Adam's Deep V design.
It's just sinking into me what we're doing. Crazy. In 3, 2, 1. There it goes.
Look at that. That was lovely.
That was pretty neat.
Aside from curving a path straight into the wall, Adam's torpedo did make it 30 feet across the pool.
Well, I think my torpedo did pretty well. I think it still was showing a lot of resistance in the water, didn't quite get up on a plane, so I think I can actually take out a bunch of the weight in these fins and I might get an improved performance.
The torpedo was plowing through the water rather than hydroplaning, meaning it's slow and crooked. But Will an attitude adjustment make the difference?
All right, here we go. It loves that spot in this pool.
Sadly, taking the extra weight out didn't help Adam's lethargic torpedo.
Seems to be holding up pretty well. Any suggestions?
You could strap 2 rockets onto that rocket mount, because I think you're just not getting up on top of the water. It may be that you just don't have enough power.
I'll give it a shot.
Adam's hull design is a little deeper and more rounded. That inherently requires more power to push it through the water. It may go just fine if we give it that power.
The idea is that more thrust will not only give more power, but also get the torpedo up on top of the water, allowing it to skim fast and true to its target.
Adam torpedo test 2 rockets in 3, 2, 1. And we are lit. That was awesome!
2 rockets did push the torpedo over 60 feet, but it seems the V-shaped hull is still plowing through the water, slowing it down and pulling it off course.
Yeah, that hull shape doesn't seem like it's working very well.
The fact that it's spraying so much water around says that it's wasting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
With the deep V design shelved, it's sink or swim time for Jamie's flat-bottomed hull.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh!
And sink is not the option Jamie was looking for.
The only problem I saw on this one was that it submarined. So I figure all I have to do is bend these tail fins with a slight downward pull to them, and that ought to hold the front end up.
Okay, now to see if this minute modification makes all the difference.
Yeah!
Where did it go?
It's just sitting right there about the halfway mark, a little bit more.
Amazingly, the torpedo skimmed the water, hydroplaning 70 feet straight along the pool, proving that a flat bottom is faster and more effective.
The slight adjustment to the rear fin seemed to do the trick, and I gotta say the flat bottom and long, narrow design allowed it to track pretty well over a great distance right on top of the water. I think we're looking pretty good.
Looking pretty good, but just to be sure, it's double or nothing.
This one's for the gold. There you go. Come on, baby.
Despite veering slightly off course, it's clear that the flat bottom is straight up the best design. And that's good news for the Myth.
I think we have our design.
It goes pretty quick, doesn't it?
It's head and shoulders above the pear-shaped design. I think that's what we should go with.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Supposedly, the ancient Syrians created the world's first rocket-powered torpedo. But did it work? In the small-scale launch, Jamie's flat-bottomed prototype won on speed and accuracy. So now what?
I can't think of anything to do now but go full scale.
Yep.
So about that 20-pound black powder rocket, you think we need to build one?
Nah, those things are scary. I think we should use a modern rocket equivalent.
All right. Well, then I guess what's ahead is to build a few full-size torpedoes and find a body of water to test them on.
Sounds good.
And that means the guys are ramping up the scale for a full-blown torpedo attack.
The steel structure is my mold. I'm going to weld the sheet metal to it, and that'll hold it stable while I beat on it with a cannonball welded onto the end of a jackhammer.
I have no idea if it's going to work or not.
I don't either, but it is cool. Now, that may seem kind of elaborate, but it's not really unlike what would happen in ye olden days with Syrians and muscular slaves and so on, nicely rounded rock. Difference is that they would have taken days, and I'm going to do it in a couple of hours.
That looks great!
That may be the plan, but the cannonball has other ideas. With Jamie's jackhammer beaten, it's clear they'll have to find another way to hammer out this myth. Turning torpedoes full scale, the MythBusters struck a problem. But it's okay, because Jamie Heineman has been on the case.
Dude, that is amazing!
I've heard about this technique called hydroforming, where you use water pressure to form sheet metal shells, and I decided to give it a try. All you do is you take a couple of pieces of sheet metal and you weld them together, and then you pump high pressure water in between them, and it inflates like a balloon, at least in theory.
That's gross!
Whoops. This first attempt actually buckled severely, so it wasn't usable, but I figured if I weld it to a heavy steel frame that it might restrict the buckles, and it kind of did, but, well, it buckled the frame. At this point, I was getting really invested in this and determined to see it work. You want to see how I pulled it off? Okay.
Yep, with his extracurricular determination, Jamie has come up with an ingenious Plan B.
We take our piece of sheet metal and clamp it between two massive plates of steel. We've cut out an almond-shaped hole in the top plate and attached our pressure washer pump to a small hole in the bottom plate. Now here's the fun part. All we do is start the pump, and the water pressure pushes the sheet metal out the almond-shaped hole, inflating it just like a balloon. Ha! It's perfect! It's a long way from medieval blacksmithing, but I can make a torpedo shell in about a half an hour. It's like magic. Beats beating on it with a hammer.
With the shell production line in full swing, Jamie assembles them into torpedoes. Each set of shells is given a rocket casing and some foam flotation to ensure they don't sink to the bottom of the lake while testing. And finally, a set of laser precision control fins to keep them in line.
That was a lot of work.
Man, they look fantastic. I think our torpedo army is ready for deployment.
Time for a road trip?
It is.
And Ione Quarry, where the MythBusters have slid, flipped, and blasted myths before,
Oh yeah.
is the perfect location for deployment.
Shall we get started?
Yeah, why not?
Let it drift.
First up, to create a familiar target,
Do you want to save your own city?
at 800 feet from shore, the boat is positioned well out of reach of an ancient archer. But will it be within reach of their torpedo?
Well, there we go. Was nice and pretty, now it's really ugly. You may remember earlier that we do best with a flat-bottomed hull on our torpedo, and this is actually kind of rounded. But I figure it's okay because of the way that I've placed the rocket motor back here, and this forms kind of a straight or flat line, which is what I'm looking for, because when this gets up and running, this is all that's going to be actually contacting the water, and that's what's important. That's what's going to allow it to move real quick and real efficiently.
Quick and efficiently, because to test its success as an ancient weapon, they're zeroing in on two crucial criteria: its accuracy and its ability to deliver its deadly payload. And to test those, they'll need some rocket power.
In the sparse details we've been able to uncover about this story, the torpedo is said to be powered by a rocket composed of 20 pounds of black powder. What does that equal in a modern-day repeatable equivalent? Well, it turns out to be this puppy. This is an M motor. It puts out 270 pounds of thrust for approximately 14 seconds, and it will be our ye olde rocket engine. When we're walking it forward, don't you feel like we should make some sound effects?
Boom.
With the ye olde rocket equivalent on board, test one is about accuracy, getting their torpedo to hit its mark.
All right, that's hot. Let's do it.
Let's see what it does.
And even though there are not yet incendiaries on board, the guys take cover behind the blast shields.
All right, man, count it down.
Okay, here we go with the full power rocket in 3, 2, 1, go. Well,
I don't know, maybe that was a little too powerful. What do you think?
it was fun though. Let's do it again.
Okay, so the world's first launch of an ancient torpedo didn't go quite as planned. Instead of hydroplaning, it went off like a rocket.
Everything started out okay, and then everything seemed to go haywire. It spiraled up into the sky and did this massive belly flop, absolutely crushing the top of this. Wow, that is a lot of damage. This is like a car accident's worth of damage. It bent the entire central shaft of this thing on an arc. It's fantastic.
Fantastic, but nowhere near accurate. So for test 2, they'll reduce the speed and cut its thrust.
Now I know, when you think of Goldilocks, you don't automatically go to an anodized aluminum tube filled with explosives, but that's what's just happened. Welcome to the Goldilocks rocket. This nozzle's been drilled out to 5/8 of an inch, which should lower its pressure rating to between 150 and 180 pounds of thrust, which should be the butter zone that'll get our torpedo all the way to the boat while staying in the water.
Now this is rocket science, but that's still the equivalent of the mythical 20 pounds of black powder, just with a longer burn time.
Let's get her down to the water. She's hungry for some boat, aren't you, girl? I don't know why I personify the rockets like that.
Question is, will reducing its speed help their torpedo stay waterbound and stay on target?
This is the Goldilocks torpedo in 3, 2, 1, fire.
Despite its promising start, frustratingly, the torpedo still took flight.
Still a little too much power, but really nice.
I think that's fun by itself. Why do we need to hit the boat?
Damn, that one just wouldn't quit.
It was like a porpoise.
Yeah.
It kept going up and then down underwater and up.
And although the torpedo's aerobatics are certainly entertaining, annoyingly for our MythBusters, it's a long way off the direct hit of the myth.
It's not working too well. We're gonna have to figure something else out.
Yeah, well, let's get on it.
Okay.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, that's an ancient torpedo, and it's not supposed to be airborne.
So our rockets turn out to be quite powerful, and when they cause our torpedo to take off into the sky, that actually has a term in rocketry. It's called skywriting. We don't want to be skywriting, so we are going to add actually a tether, a guide wire under the water that will hopefully guide our torpedo right to the boat.
The skywriting is on the wall. Accurately hitting the solo boat is proving more difficult than the more likely target of a 13th century invading armada. So for test 3, accuracy is out of the picture, and they're jumping ship to test the payload delivery.
All right, ladies and germs, we're ready to head across the lake. Oh, crap. Uh-oh. All right, let's go.
With the taut tether ready to keep it in line,
That's a lot of tension. Oh, that's pretty good.
torpedo number 3 is loaded with the rocket equivalent of 20 pounds of black powder and its deadly payload.
These are my incendiary devices. They're actually filled with gasoline and a couple of other things that make it a secret recipe. That right there, 10.5 pounds of death and destruction to be delivered as soon as possible to our enemies.
Death and destruction, as long as it explodes on impact.
For this to be a successful test, we've got to be able to launch our torpedo from shore, have it skim across the surface of the water, and crash into our target boat, splashing incendiary liquid all over it and creating a big fireball. That's what we've got to do.
Yep, accuracy is beside the point. This test is about whether the torpedo delivers its destructive payload.
Tethered Goldilocks. Let's hope this one works. In 3, 2, 1, fire.
Oh, shoot.
We were doing better without it tethered.
I'm sad.
Rockets don't like to be tethered. No. Nor torpedoes. They just want to be free.
Free-range torpedoes.
In contrast to yesterday's test, the Tethered definitely kept the torpedo waterbound, although a little too much so. But that's a problem they think they can fix.
In the interest of trying everything we can think of, we have moved the boat from its original position of 800 feet from shore to 200 feet from shore, and we've moved the guide wire from underwater to above water. I really hope this works.
Remember, the historical record isn't clear as to whether this was a long or short-range weapon, so they're closing in to concentrate on payload delivery.
There we go.
It's now or never for their torpedo of doom.
Okay, incendiary torpedo. In 3, 2, 1, fire.
Come on! Wow. That didn't go at all like I expected.
So close, but so far.
Maybe we should just go home.
No! We have to hurt this boat! Darn it!
Everything was going to plan, but the tether snapped, turning the torpedo into a surface-to-air missile. And getting the MythBusters all bent out of shape.
I'm a sad monkey right now. That's our enemy. Look how close he is to shore. We've got rockets, we've got incendiary. Somehow we can't stop him. Just bugging the hell out of me.
Yep, it seems the torpedo is less death and destruction and more like a weapon of mass frustration. And with only one remaining torpedo, they've only got one more shot at the myth.
Captain Kirk never said this to Scotty, but I think we've got too much power.
And that tether is not working for us. I think we got to remove it.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know you watched Star Trek.
Sure.
The MythBusters are at the end of their tether. Frustratingly, their ancient torpedoes have missed the boat on accuracy and payload delivery. But they've had a eureka moment. Perhaps it's all down to too much rocket power.
Well, sometimes less is more, and I think this is one of those times. We're going to lose the tether, and we're going to go with a rocket motor that puts out about half the thrust of the ones that we've been using heretofore. Hopefully, that'll allow our torpedo to stay as a boat and not a rocket and go crazy.
Yep, this is their last torpedo and their last chance to get accuracy and payload delivery all in one. If having the thrust doesn't get a direct hit, then this myth is totally and utterly sunk. But in case it does, Adam's given the boat an ancient overhaul.
Why the hell are you putting all that crap all over the boat? It's just gonna catch on fire. I don't want to burn this boat down. I mean, I know we need a finale, but maybe we could save it somehow.
It's an important addition to make our boat just as flammable as its 13th century equivalent.
Now, for those of you playing at home and complaining that the enemies of 13th century Syrians were much more likely to be Mongols than Romans from 1300 years earlier, I say congratulations on knowing so much about history.
With the boat fully prepped and the torpedo armed to the teeth, it takes its slow walk to the shore.
Don't drop it.
I will not.
But will it have the bite of the myth?
This part, when the explosives are live, is not the fun part of this job.
No.
The tension mounts as their final torpedo is ready for launch.
It's live.
Good.
Then the guys retreat behind the shields, and it's sink or swim time.
It's now or never.
Incendiary torpedo. In 3, 2, 1, fire!
And a misfire.
It's a dangerous moment. With the explosives live, our MythBusters carefully tweak the trigger and take cover once again for the countdown to launch.
Third time's a charm. I just wish it had worked on the third time.
Incendiary torpedo in 3, 2, 1, fire!
This is starting to get me upset. There it goes! Come on, baby, come on! Hit it! Just boom!
Yep, that certainly was chest bump worthy. Not only did the torpedo stay on the surface of the water, but it delivered its deadly payload.
That sent fire up over the bow of the boat. That was awesome.
Holy crapola! Oh, there's a fire. Luckily, I've got a 13th century fire extinguisher. I have saved your boat.
Yeah, that was a perfect hit, and you know, you could have used explosives, you could have incendiaries, anything you want. If it hit that hull like that, you know,
I'd be telling my other boats to turn around if one of those hit me. That's what I'd be saying. Turn around! Get the hell out of here. These people are crazy. That last launch was what we've been looking for all week. The engine caught fire, started to push the torpedo. It skipped beautifully on the surface, maybe veering about a foot or two to the right, and slammed into the side of the boat, embedding itself, releasing its incendiary, and catching it all on fire at the same moment, and setting the boat on fire. Pretty much every last thing in one launch. I still can't believe it. I'm pinching myself. Well, how do you want to call this one? Was the Syrians' mythical surface rocket-powered incendiary delivering torpedo been an effective weapon of war?
indeed it was, based on this test. We have to call it plausible, don't we?
Absolutely. Barring a time machine, it's plausible. Let's get out of here.